Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Expressive Tone TV, conveying your thoughts and feelings to the world. Omo, this country, it be like all these politicians them. They take everybody for granted. Can you imagine that Wike, the FCT minister, former governor of Rivers State, the PDAPC man, because we don't know the one way that man can dey now. He said he wants to use 15 billion naira to build house for the vice president of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima. He wants to use 15 billion naira. Meanwhile, that same vice presidential lodge, before Tinubu came as the president of Nigeria, before May 29th, that he was sworn in as the president of Nigeria, President Buhari, Oga Bubu, he made an allocation, and there was an allocation for that particular house because the house has been abandoned for a long time. So there was an allocation, 2.something billion naira in that budget, because the budget was already drawn before Tinubu came in for the repair of that house. And when Tinubu came in, he also asked for a supplementary budget, and he was given. In that budget, he allocated 4 billion naira for the building or the repair of that same vice presidential lodge, both the one in Abuja and the one in Lagos. And now Wike, the FCT minister, Wike, the FCT minister, said that the House of Assembly should approve 15 billion naira for him to build a new house altogether, not even, maintaining or renovating the old one, to build a new house for the vice president of Nigeria. And when the Senate was like, what do you think is the importance of that house at the time? He said that the vice president needs a befitting house. Can you imagine the nonsense in this country? Can you imagine the rubbish? Anyway, I think that these politicians, they are just taking everybody for granted. They are just taking all of us for granted. These things will continue to happen as long as nobody asks them. As long as they can do anything and go away with it. If not, in a sane country, this kind of thing cannot happen. It cannot happen. The presidential lodge in the United Kingdom, according to history, has been there for 339 years. Every prime minister that has come have been using it. But in Nigeria, today, they build this, tomorrow they abandon it. In this hard time, where President Tinubu said Nigerians should tighten their belts, Nigerians should bear, Nigerians should be patient, but they are not sacrificing. It's only the common man that we sacrifice. They buy SUVs as they like. They build any kind of house they want to build. They buy yachts and any form of thing they want to do. Anyway, let it not be that I'm the one saying it. Please, for all this update that I'm giving to you, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. Press the notification bell, like the video, and drop your comments below. What do you think about this? What do you think? What do you have to say? That 15 billion naira will be used to build a house, a lodge for the vice president in this trying time, when Nigerians are suffering, when Nigerians cannot have 3 square meals, when a bag of rice is more expensive than many Nigerians' salary. Wike wants to use 15 billion naira to build a house. Anyway, let them continue. I know that one day will be one day the masses will rise. Please, I will leave you to watch the video where the Arise TV crew is analyzing it. Please watch video, and I will see you in my next video.
The Federal Capital Territory, near some Wike on Thursday, said plans are underway to spend 15 billion naira for the construction of a new residence for the Vice President, Kashim Shettima. Wike disclosed this when he appeared before a House of Representatives committee to defend the FCT 61.5 billion naira 2023 supplementary budget. Wike told the lawmakers that the construction of a new residence for the Vice President was approved in 2010 by the Federal Executive Council at the cost of 7 billion naira. But that the project was abandoned. The lawmakers questioned the minister on why he plans to spend such an amount on a building or building an edifice for the Vice President. Well, Wike said that it was to give the Vice President a befitting residence. All right. I mean, this is it. This is what we are facing. This is what we are facing. 15 billion naira for the residence of the Vice President. Let me just read something. Back in November, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had signed, the 2.17 trillion supplementary budget into law. And in that Appropriation Act, the federal government allocated 2.5 billion naira to the renovation of the Aguda House as the Vice President's residence. Another 3 billion was earmarked in the 2023 supplementary budget for the renovation of the Vice President's residence in Lagos. The government also earmarked 4 billion for the refurbishing of the presidential residential quarters and an additional 4 billion for the construction of an office complex within the state. I mean, Dr. Abati, please, you have been around the government. 15 billion naira, is that what we should be spending? I mean, why is it important to build a new residence, not refurbish, not renovate, build a new residence for the Vice President? He does have a place to live.
I think we keep making this point again and again. Many of our leaders in positions are not sensitive to the feelings of Nigerians. The way Mr. Wike was reported as stated in the newspapers, I mean, many Nigerians will feel scandalized.
Absolutely.
Because the point is, the Nigerian government is always telling us to make sacrifices, But we don't see our leaders making enough sacrifice. Look at the National Assembly members in considering the appropriation bill that has now been brought by the president. They are more interested in constituency projects, how palliatives can be handed over to them to execute. So this is part of the problem. And we keep getting the kind of wrong signaling. Now, what is Mr. Wike's explanation when he was defending the supplementary budget? Number one, he said that it was the military that built Aguda House. Aguda House is up to now the official residence of the Vice President of Nigeria. Now, as you pointed out, we have been told that 2.5 billion was earmarked for the renovation of that Aguda House in the 2023 supplementary budget. And that has been passed by the National Assembly. So what happens to that 2.5 billion that has been passed? An additional 2.8 billion to renovate the residence of the Vice President in Lagos. So one would think that, okay, if renovation would help to give the place, to make the place more befitting, you can't argue to that. But Mr. Wike is insisting that the way the Vice President of Nigeria can have a befitting residence is for a brand new edifice to be erected. While there may be people who agree with that, many Nigerians will also say this is not the time for that.
Absolutely not.
And the contractor has increased the cost of this new edifice from 7 billion to 15 billion. I mean, inflation. Over a period of 13 years. Yeah. No, we understand. Yeah. We understand, to 15 billion naira. And the minister is saying FCT has already provided for 5 billion to start the work. Okay, we should go and check. When that building was approved in 2010, has some work been done there? Has the contractor collected some money? What is the state of the construction?
Well, he clearly said that it was abandoned. It hasn't been built.
Well, if he says it was abandoned, it means something was started. Okay? It means something. If it's an abandoned project, some processes must have gone into it. Well, the lawmakers should have asked for details in that regard.
Why was it abandoned in the first place?
Well, subsequent administrations didn't consider it a priority.
Thank you.
So they just left it at that level.
Thank
so
you.
if the renovation of the building is done, I think this is one of those projects we can keep on hold. And I'm sure that the vice president is not the one pushing for it.
I'm sure.
It's Minister Wike pushing for it and saying he will deliver the building by May 2023. There must be some other priorities that he can treat as a matter of urgency. Maybe when the economy improves and Nigerians are in a better place, if they like, they can go and build 50 billion structure. But for now, Nigerians say that would be a lot. Now, Minister Wike said something that was even surprising there. 60 million had been earmarked for publicity in the supplementary budget. Now he says he has increased it to 2.8 billion for publicity.
I saw that.
And when the question was asked, he said, no, you have to use money to make money. Now, this publicity, what is it? Placement of adverts? How will publicity be used to make more money?
Yes, now.
So these are the kind of expenditures that people are worried about, and our public officials should just be sensitive to the feelings of Nigerians.
His to pepper his enemies now. Can't you remember when he said we've given some people newspaper, we didn't give some people? His to pepper us his enemies now. Oji, all I'm just going to say is, if we are sensible, if our leaders are sensible, you better cancel that 15 billion and cancel that money to be spent on renovation.
Correct.
Number 10 Downing Street, the British economy is way bigger than ours. Number 10 Downing Street is 339 years old house. That's where every world leader goes to visit the British. Guess what some prime ministers complain about number 10 Downing? It's too small. But they dare not say they want to go and build new prime minister's house.
Talking about bringing out 15 billion.
Talking about building 15 billion. Oji, that house you are seeing is 339 years old. It was started in 1682. It was completed in 1684. These guys don't care. They are wobbia. Eat. Nigeria. May God not allow them eat this country to do.
I mean, Rufai, thank you for bringing out that fact.
What you say is that if you work at the altar, you can eat at the altar. But don't eat the altar itself.
I wish I would eat the altar.
Absolutely.
They want to eat Nigeria.